The S&P 500, the Nasdaq 100, we jump in here and we see exactly where we're at. We kind of were like anticipating a little bit of choppier action into today and lower volume. Now, what I will say off the rip, you go into volume, what really took place here on SPY. You know, decent volume on the day on SPY, 54 million, more than I kind of anticipated. Understand we have the inauguration going in on a Monday. Monday markets will also be closed from MLK Day. 19th, markets open once again. I anticipate buyers, right? So again, if you do not follow on Twitter, I recommend doing so, not for any of this crap, but because you're going to get updates on the market, everything I'm looking for, everything in between. I said yesterday that volume was pretty dead. I expected choppier action, but buyers ultimately to step in with volume if they would step up the volume at all. And so we thought that would happen. So going into Tuesday, I anticipate buying to continue. So let's talk about a few things here. Number one, you've been kind of trading basically, since December 16th in this kind of like downward trend, right? I'm just drawing it out here so you can see exactly what I'm talking about, and what constitutes a downtrend, even if it's a smaller time frame downtrend here. This is like 1-2 hour chart. Again, it's simply just making lower highs, lower high, lower high, lower high, and then lower low, lower low, lower low. That's the definition of a downtrend, right? Now, where things get interesting is you're trying to break out of this. So this was your lower high that was made here, followed up by, higher low established, and you're trying to break back out of this. So right now you look pretty solid. And the big things I was telling you in order to get bearish, get bullish, what you want to see. Now, number one, to get bearish, what we wanted to see was a hold below the 100 daily moving average, right? We talked a lot about that level. And to get bullish, what we wanted to see was for the Nasdaq to get above the July high, which you are doing right now. We'll talk more about that. But that's what's really taking place as we jump into today. And I'm like, dude, it's pretty incredible. Now, when we go down to smaller time frames on intraday, you're like, holy crap, this was pretty incredible. And you jump into let's go to the 5-minute, for instance, because that's where you have to look here. To start the day off, we see some initial selling. Obviously pre-market got us a lot of the buying, but we see that, pre-market pump, and then market opens, we drop. And you come right back into July highs, the key level, 21,510. You mount that level and you shoot up. Now, again, guys, you've been hearing me say this key level for I don't know how many days. And so this is what you really wanted to, this is probably the best case scenario to end the week. I'll be totally honest with you. Now, there's still the issues with TLT and yields of how that's still concerning, but all in all, the market continues to look very strong. Okay, now why? So before we jump into more charts, let's talk about why you're seeing the upside here, in my opinion. Now, number one, I do believe going into a new presidency, you typically have a good market. Like the market usually is reactive, more buyers, getting more aggressive. Okay, that's number one. So let's rip that Band-Aid off. Now, number two, you had CPI and PPI data. And in a world which everyone was expecting bad data based off of some of the Fed's comments and worries, you get better data than you could have expected, with CPI in particular really shocking everyone, right? So that's, in my opinion, the bullish outlook here. Now, you can have people blindly saying this is what I believe, and I think I'm not saying what I believe or what I think. I'm just saying why the market's moving in the direction right now and what I expect based off of volume, based off of what's happening right now, okay? So again, I'm just providing facts, right? In order to get bearish, again, you got to get below the 100 daily moving average and hold. You cannot do that. And on top of that, now you're making a pretty nasty reversal pattern. So let's talk about that as well. And I'm spending a bulk of this video on the Nasdaq because I want to tell you right now, if you are trading equities like Apple, Nvidia, AVGO, Amazon, Meta, Netflix, this is going to be what sets up the big winner. And occasionally we get opportunities for very big winners in the market. And I think we're coming into a season of big winners as far as to the upside and reversals overall. So I told Jordan about this last night, and Jordan was like, we'll see. Fingers crossed, you got to get above July highs. But you're starting to make an inverse head and shoulders, which is a very strong reversal signal back to the upside. I think your measured move would have you a little bit over 22K, right? But this is what we want to see forming out of this as we're breaking out of this channel as well. Now we go into ES, S&P futures. Again, looks pretty solid, but still rejecting at our key level. And again, These are the same key levels we've mentioned every single day. And if you're in Discord, again, I post these every morning. The only mornings I don't usually post are Friday mornings because I take my son to school pretty early. So it's just a hard day for me. Jordan usually covers everything. So I've been posting these same levels, again, on ES, as you can see here, the same levels all week long, and that's exactly what we're rejecting. Also, trades have been posted in there, and I'm doing now breakdowns of our trades as well in Discord. So if you're in there, you haven't noticed, again, every day at the end of the day, I'll make a rundown going back over the trades we took, why I took them, and kind of the mindset there for more education. The other big thing is today, only one trade, and I want to make this clear, and I keep saying this, you don't need to overtrade, right? You don't need to. Today, we took Tesla twice, and you went from 430, like we looked, all the way into 440, like we looked for as well. And then you proceeded to reject 10 points off of that in our clear cut range as well. So again, you're having very good setups, but there's no reason to overtrade. No reason at all. Some of the guys in Discord are killing it. So congratulations, everyone. Keep it up. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. Okay. So I'm going to quickly go into SPY, QQQ, and then I'll go over equities and get you guys ready for the weekend. So number one, SPY, we're looking for that push back into 490 or 599 to 600. You came into roughly 599.3 today. Again, key levels at 600.15. So really close and kind of rejected so far there. On the 1 hour chart, kind of pulling back here. Don't love what you formed out here. And I will say, if you start to see some downside at all in SPY, I mean, nice gap fill back to 594. I will say that there. But above 600, I think you're moving quick. QQQ, a lot more bullish. Our key level here, 519. We've been talking about it, right? You gapped above that level. You retested it multiple times, and then you just shot back up. So again, same levels. Don't really know what to talk about. If you get below 519, I look for the gap fill near 516.6. But until then, I'm looking for a continuation to the upside. Next level is around 524.5.8, give or take. So what I'd be looking for there. Like I said, too, with yields, there's still a little bit of a concern. They are still dropping. You're still seeing a reversal on them. But again, we need to see more, right? I don't want to see a 2-day drop. I want to see back below the 100 SMA, 200 SMA, etc. Okay, TLT as well. Very interesting here. You are seeing a lot of buyers coming into TLT. So very interesting. What I will say, and I try to be as unbiased as possible when I'm discussing TLT bonds, etc. But let's highlight a few things here. Okay, so I just want to go over a little bit of volume and then what's taking place. So again, you can see I've already highlighted a few of the other points, but back here you had your volume surge to this range of around 80-90 million, give or take. And so over the past few days from December 18th till now, we've seen volume kind of peak out up here, right? We saw during the 18th initial selling, that was primarily selling volume, the downside concerns. We haven't seen the crazy peaks though, right? That's one thing that I want to highlight right here. Okay. So we'll see if more buyers do step in. It's good continued volume, I will say that, right? So we're seeing buyers loading up a little bit down here consistently, but we're going to see one more big stick of volume to get it for a reversal, pushing us back to that 100 SMA, which in my opinion would also signal that US yields are finding tops as well. Okay, so underlying that, what I'm looking for there, make that really clear. Don't want to overcomplicate anything, so that is there for you. You're welcome. Thank me later. Okay, now going into the rest of the market, going into the weekend. Number one, I'll start with crypto. People might have crypto questions. I think crypto looks really good. Was kind of shocked to get the pullback you did. You bounced though. So again, we said 93 to 94K. Kind of came down to 92K, even 90K. That was pretty nice. But you're finding buyers bouncing back up. I think crypto wants to keep running towards like 120, maybe even higher. I think crypto looks phenomenal. And I think crypto runs this weekend with all the hype going into the inauguration as well. So I have no reason to think crypto is bearish in the short term. So again, I think it looks really good. Holding it really well. There's no chart that points to a bearish outlook in the short term on crypto. So I'll highlight that right now. Now, going into equities for this week, what I'd be looking for. Number one, NVIDIA. NVIDIA has been a really big conversation around Discord and around the channel in general. So you're bouncing once again near 130. Surprise, surprise. Today's action was very strange though, right? You get really good price target raises across the board in NVIDIA, rises up and then kind of stalls. You kind of had a bull flag formed out and then nothing happened. You failed to break Thursday's highs, which was annoying. What you want to see here though, again, is breaking back above June, July highs, get back above 141, 140.7. And I think you're bullish once again back into highs. So again, break, retest, and continuation, what you're looking for. This range in between here, I would be cautious. I really would be. I think NVIDIA looks good, but I don't love buying it at resistance. Doesn't make any sense. Tesla, one of my favorite. I sat before market closed and debated for like the last 10 minutes, like if I wanted to buy calls. I didn't. I think Tesla looks really interesting into this week. And I think your levels are all you really need to watch here. Above 430, and if it would have held 430, I would have bought. Above 430, I am very bullish. Okay, so you're kind of sitting at resistance here, but you could gap up easily above this. So above 430, I think you look really good. Above 440, I think you have potential to go back in all-time highs in a hurry. Okay, but maybe first start like 465. But still, I think you look really, really good on Tesla. I'd be looking for a clear sign of a breakout conservatively above 440. With that, I think Tesla could go insane. I haven't been doing as many chart requests, but I'll be doing chart requests on Twitter as well. So make sure if you're interested, you tap in there. Do want to shout that out. Also, to you guys, if you are trading with prop firms, anything like that, I recommend using My Funded Futures. Link is down below for all the discounts. So shout that out as well. But yeah, so Tesla above 440 is what I'm looking at there. Meta, really interesting. I would steer clear of Meta right now. Okay, so Tuesday, this is how things are going to work. You're getting your TikTok ban Sunday night. You might get hype and momentum moving on Tuesday based off if TikTok is still shut down, right? Because Trump might veto. We'll see what he does, right? Wild card. So we'll see what happens. If it actually gets banned, Meta could have a lot of momentum. I will say that. If this gets vetoed and put on pause and it doesn't really get banned, I think Meta could see some downside, and I wouldn't want to trade it, okay? But if it does get banned, I'd be looking for above 617 to start trading back into 622, 623. And then back into that range of like 630. It could happen quick. It could happen very strong. I'd be watching that close. Apple is the biggest letdown here. Again, I've been very bullish on Apple, but I said when it broke below, obviously had to cut my position. And I looked to get back in around 237. But you can see that you kind of rejected here. You popped up and you rejected back down. You also have your 50 MA right there too. I can tell you right now. Yeah. So you have it right there. So you rejected, pop back down. You got to be conservative on Apple. You got to wait now. You get back above it, you look fine, but I'm just patient. There's no need to be the first one in, right? I say there's no reason to be the first person in the market. No reason. Netflix also very strong. We pushed into 868. Had these target here for days. Now we're kind of just chopping, consolidating. If you can mount back over like 870, I think you look good back into 885 and 900. I would just be patient here. There's no reason to get super aggressive though. So I'll tell you that right now. We had the good trade. So yeah. Another big one here I'm looking at too is ARM trying to break back out. I think semis look really good. I want to say that right now. I still think ARM is on the cheaper end of semiconductors and has a lot of upside and a lot of areas to surprise people with growth. I like them still. Looks really good. I'd be watching that. AVGO broke back above 228. I said above 228, you're bullish. You got above 230, went back to 237. So really good too there. Google holding above your key levels, 194.5. I mean, this really has room to wick back into the 200, 199 range. So I'd be watching Google as well. Looks really strong, looks really solid. Microsoft, kind of top of the range. I'd be careful until you mount 430, 431. Be caught in the just be aware. Okay. Coinbase as well, bouncing. This is one of our top stocks into the week. We talked about it. Looked really good, pushing it to 300. I think Coinbase probably keeps on rallying. I'd be looking for highs on the year, in my opinion, back above 340. I've said time and time again, Coinbase is going to smash this next earnings. It is going to. So don't be shocked. Don't be surprised. But yeah, I think Coinbase is a real winner here. I think Coinbase probably runs back into highs on the year. Would not shock me. Would not shock me at all. But that's overall what I'm looking at, guys. If you have questions, comment down below. I'll have another educational video on my second YouTube channel this weekend, so make sure if you're interested to tap in. Have a good one, traders, and have a good weekend.